South Park, Stick of Truth. Now, before I go on, I want to thank the person who made that intro, and I'm not actually sure who that was. Like I mentioned before, I'm going through my old hard drive, and I found all these intros. Whoever it is, please mention yourself in the comments, and I'll make sure to favorite it. I am a huge South Park fan. I think I've seen every episode. What I liked, though, was the way it has reinvented itself more than once. It used to be just a crass show, which was just more about shocking the audience than the plots. But somewhere around the 6th season or so, I think they changed the idea into telling a story in an absurd way. The whole idea they came up with was that they take one idea and take that to its most illogical and just play it straight. There will usually be people who comment on the insanity, but even at its most crazy, the people in this town often buy into what's going on. I love how you never know what's going to happen because really anything could happen, and it does. The show is starting to have ongoing storylines for an entire season, and I'm not really a fan of that. I love continuity, but some ideas don't work. South Park has had a lot of games made for it. I remember the first one that I played was on the N64, and I remember shooting turkeys with snowballs, if I remember that right. I thought at the time, this is just dumb. Who thought this was a good idea? It felt like a generic shooter with South Park characters just put into it. Now, unlike that game, this one looks and feels like you're in the cartoon. It has the same beats and visual style of the show. In fact, the plot line and all the things that could happen could have easily just been part of the show. I know they did a lead up to it on the show itself, but the plot would have fit in perfectly if they decided just not to make the game. Now, I will say they don't hold anything back when it comes to the content. I can't get into some of the more screwed up parts, but you're not going to believe some of the situations they put you into. I think this game over the next one had much more raunchy situations, and they kind of toned it down in the sequel. I liked the turn-based combat. It was funny to hear the enemies chiding you about not going faster on your turn. In fact, all the extra dialogue when you're just waiting around, or you're just trying to go off script by going somewhere where you're not really supposed to, was just great. It makes you want to find all these unexpected moments. There are different characters that can join your party, each with their own special attacks. Now, the game can get a bit difficult at times, even on the easiest difficulty. They do make it easier by letting you heal and attack on the same turn. So as long as you stay on top of that and press the buttons at the right time when you do your attacks, it's not too hard. I did find the fart mechanics too complicated, and I can't believe that's a sentence I had to say. They have you holding down the R stick, and you have to move your L analog stick to find the right amount of gas. This seems pointlessly complex. My guess is that's the joke. That didn't stop it from being really annoying. I like the open world of the town. You can pretty much go anywhere in the town almost right away. You can open up some of the doors and rob the houses of their junk. They made it easy to find which doors could be raided by giving them yellow handles. So every place I would go, I would just check every yellow handle. You can interact with quite a few things, and often you can use the environment to knock out your opponents even before the fight starts. It makes you stop and look before blindly rushing into fights. This game has a bunch of fan service, from returning characters that have not been seen in years to songs in the background. Everywhere you went, there was some form of the history of the show. It takes about 10 hours to finish this game, and for the immaturity of the plot, that seems about right. Sure, they could have padded it out more, but they really seem to find just the right point where it wasn't boring. Now, I'm sure a bunch of people are going to ask me to review the sequel, and I'm going to pass on that. It's not a bad game, it's just not as good as the first. It basically reuses assets of this game and finds new ways to use them, and I didn't really like that. And also, I really didn't like the new updated tactical fighting system. It overcomplicated something that really was fine in the first game. South Park Stick of Truth is a great game. It was often funny and offensive at the same time. It never lets up on trying to offend, and it swings for the fences a lot. And there's moments in this that you're just not going to believe this is part of the game. The battle system was simple enough, so it felt like something that kids would have come up with in real life. This is the closest you're ever going to have to playing a cartoon character in a perfectly recreated world of the TV show. I picked this up on sale for $11.99, and you should definitely get it for that price. However, for the regular price of $30, I think that's too much for a game that is almost 7 years old. This is an amazing title that takes you into the world of South Park, and as long as you're not offended easily, you're going to be laughing quite a lot at this game. So I think it's worth a buy when it's on sale.